Let's jump to this story from the Silver Bulletin. Nate Silver has got his new forecast, and he's basically saying RFK Jr. actually may be boosting Donald Trump after all. He says that Kamala Harris's lead peaked at 4.3 points on the national average the day Kennedy dropped out. Now it's down to 3.5 in the now RFK-less version of our model. It's not bad. With the convention bounce adjustment the model is applying, the November forecast is about as close to 50-50 as it gets. Then he goes on to say he's off to England or whatever. But right now he's got this forecast model where he talks about where the states are currently at, his polls, the polls he trusts and what he uses or whatever. And what he said in a Twitter thread was that if Kamala is ahead nationally by 2 points, then Trump has an 88% chance to win. I believe that's what he said. If she's ahead, maybe I'm getting it wrong. Yeah, I think 2 points. No. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. If she's ahead by 1 to 2 points, Trump has it's 66 to 33. If Kamala is 3 to 4 points ahead, then she has an 88% chance to win. He is forecasting her as being ahead over 3 points, which would give her this massive bump. However, now I suppose he's saying, considering that they're adjusting for the convention, it's looking like it's actually close to 50-50. I don't know how correct he is, but when you go to the RCP battleground average, the place that actually matters, Trump's actually doing really well. So in the battleground states, I think, did they get rid of the actual average? It looks like Harris has taken it's tied. Absolutely tied right now. This would imply Donald Trump is expected to win the battleground states. Unless there's some weird dramatic thing where like Texas flips, it's looking good for Donald Trump right now, but nowhere near guaranteed.
Which is what we always thought since day one. We've not known this is going to be a close election. If you follow what, the folks, Tyler Boyer and Charlie Kirk, and they built the ballot chase program that I'm working on. We won Wisconsin by 23,000 votes in 2016, and then we lost it by just over 20,000 votes in 2020. So it's going to be just around that margin again. It's going to be very close. There's going to be a lot more black swan events from now until the end of the election. And I don't think they'll matter. It's going to come down to the normie individual people who don't know anything about politics. They are quite literally going to determine this election.
Take a look at this graph that Nate Silver's got. He says, how big is the electoral college bias? So he says if the popular vote is from 0 to +1. All right, let me show you. Real Clear Politics currently has Harris at 1.7. If it's 0 to 1, Trump's got an 85.5% chance of winning. If it's 1 to 2, Trump has a 61.4% chance of winning. Well, Real Clear Politics has Harris at 1.7, and if that fits his model, Trump's looking at about a 2 to 1 chance to win right now. However, he says if it's 2 to 3, Harris has 69.3% to Trump's 29.9%. And of course, Nate Silver has Kamala Harris at 3.5%. So Nate Silver is basically saying she's got an 88% chance to win this one.
There's a compounding effect between 2 and 3 where it drops from 85 to 61. That's 24%. Then it goes from 61 to 29, which is 32%. Why is the difference in 1 point 24%, but then it's 30?
You have to ask Nate Silver 32%. How he models out his predictions and whether or not anyone should care. Yeah.
I don't think anyone should care. None of this data correlates with each other. So, like, for example, Kamala can just do really well in California, and she can win the national vote by a certain percentage, and that necessarily wouldn't coordinate into how things will shake out in the Electoral College. So, look, Nate Silver is often wrong. I think what you're seeing from a lot of pollsters is they're trying to create the illusion of momentum for Harris, everyone within the Borg of pollsting. There was no reason to do that when Biden was running because he was a corpse and we all knew it. But I think they're really trying to put on the fact that Harris can win. And this helps Democrat fundraisers. This helps them say, hey, look, we're this close on the margin. Your $2 million is going to push us over the edge. I think that's the reason why you see this grift taking place the way you do, because there hasn't been a bump for Kamala in Georgia amongst suburban voters.
And that's where she's headed right now. I mean, they're about to spend some time in Georgia.
Right.
What swing states are you expecting Kamala to win versus Trump?
But I do think Kamala is going to win. I think she's going to win Virginia, if we count Virginia as a swing state. I think she's going to win North Carolina, if we count that as a swing state. Arizona, I think Democrats are going to get trounced in, specifically because Turning Point is based there. And what we saw in the primary was increases in voter turnout in pretty much every precinct in Maricopa County because of the work Turning Point's doing there. I think that's going to translate to Georgia. I think that's going to translate into Wisconsin. And I don't think a lot of, your blue dog Dems aren't excited for Kamala.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
This is the 270 to win map using the polls from Nate Silver on Silver Bulletin. So you can see that Trump is only ahead in Georgia and Florida in the battleground states.
Right.
So if we go here and we apply it, Kamala Harris has got 303 to Donald Trump's 235. But let's start with what you're saying.
You got to take Arizona off the map.
You say Arizona's going red.
Got to take Arizona off the map.
Arizona's going red. We're also hearing that Virginia could be getting close to flipping.
But you think it's going to go blue?
Everything I've heard indicates Youngkin was a fluke. He had to run so moderate even to win. And a lot of those independents now don't like Youngkin because he's been...
But he just mandated paper ballots. We don't know what the effect of that is going to be on the state. So hard to know for sure. Now, what about Michigan, Wisconsin, and PA?
I'm feeling good for Wisconsin and PA. Michigan, I'm unsure about. I was there for the People's Convention.
Well, if this is it,
we've put in.
If Trump wins Wisconsin, Michigan, and Arizona, that's it.
He said PA red, Michigan unsure.
Yeah.
Oh, you said PA is red.
Yeah.
And then Michigan is unsure. Yeah, Trump still wins. This will be interesting.
Is there a lot of mail-in voting in these states?
I can't imagine Wisconsin, honestly. He's going to have to win somewhere else. I don't see how Wisconsin goes red.
Do you think he'll take Nevada?
I don't
know
think so.
I don't know.
I do not think so.
Yeah, that's tough. Arizona makes sense because of TPUSA and their massive outreach efforts. But we'll see. Maybe Steven Crowder pulls off a miracle. But North Carolina, you think North Carolina goes blue?
I think North Carolina goes blue.
Interesting. Well, it's not looking good then, is it?
So he'd need either, Michigan or Virginia in that case, which is interesting.
Let's just say, what does he have? What does he need? 4 electoral votes?
Could still win North Carolina. We won
So
our
if this map,
our Senate race there in 2020.
If this map happens and New Hampshire goes for Trump, it's a tie.
Let's go, New Hampshire. You can do this.
There are actually a lot of different outcomes that create a tie. And New Hampshire going red is unlikely, but in the realm of possibility. And the rest of these states are all in the realm of possibility. I would imagine there's a very low probability of happening, but wow, it would be a Trump-Harris presidency.
That'd be so awesome. Oil and water, man.
Oil and water.
That's what I want to see.
Very weird buddy cop sitcom.
Yeah, that's the way politics, I was going to say, should be. I mean, at one point in history, we did have that kind of thing. I don't remember who, but
538 says 58 times out of 100. This is interesting. The chance of a tie is increasing. They now say there's it looks like they're arguing there's a 0.5% chance of a tie. It looks like a 0.5% chance. Yep. 0.5. That ain't nothing.
So there is a chance.
Hey.
What would happen if there's a tie? They'd literally be the
1 in
president and
200.
the vice president would be...
The House would choose the president and Senate would choose the vice president. So it would be Trump-Harris.
Wow.
Yep. Look at this.
That's a compromise.
5 circumstances in their prediction model that resulted in no winner. Amen.
I think our country is so broken that might be what helps pull us out of this.
1 in 200.
No one
Ain't
wins.
crazy.
If Trump and Harris were having to govern together, we're in a place in politics where no one is willing to say, I could be wrong. No one in
but
politics.
Zuckerberg did
No, look.
recently, which was
Right.
pretty prolific.
If Trump wins, there's no way Democrats have the Senate. There's just no way. I mean, let me pull up the.
Well, they're saying there's people who are saying the police association just endorsed Trump and then they endorsed Kerry Lake's opponent. There's more than just that archetype in Arizona. I'm saying it's hypothetically possible Arizona goes for Trump and then they send a Democrat to the Senate.
Is Ohio going Trump?
Oh, I think so. Yes.
Then Ohio is going to go red.
I think so.
And then you got 51.
Yeah, I think
That's it. It's over. I don't see a reality in which Trump wins and doesn't have the Senate. So it'll be interesting. What this means is if Kamala Harris is the VP in a contingent election, she does nothing as VP. There's no tie-breaking vote for her to cast.
So another...
If the Senate's 50-50 and Kamala is VP through a contingent election, she can disrupt Trump's plans by blocking Republican policy by casting tie-breaking votes in favor of Democrats as VP in a Trump administration, which is crazy. But there's no reality where Ohio, at the very least, goes red and doesn't also, elect a Republican.
Right, because Ohio is less like Arizona with all these independents and the McCain faction.
Or Montana. Come on.
Ohio's going to send Bernie Moreno to the Senate.
And you think Montana's a toss-up right now? So they're saying. But do we really think Montana's a toss-up?
I think it really depends on how much people rally around the Republican
Bozeman?
there. But I think that they will. I mean, I think there are like every major or a lot of these rural states, like in Colorado,
Obama
it's
won
largely red
Montana.
outside, but Denver's really blue.
Right.
I think that you're right. Like there is a blue influence in Montana. I just think Don Tester is not doing that well. As far as I know, he still hasn't endorsed Kamala Harris. So it makes me think that there is a chance that he loses his seat. If he felt more secure, he would. If he thought it would benefit him to line up behind Harris, he would have done it by now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just over here making my forecast map. And
A sweep?
what is this purple garbage? No, we're making it red. Get out of here. There we go. There you go. 69 Republicans. What's this? Rhode Island, Connecticut. They're too small. You can barely even click on Rhode Island. Go click it right there. There you go. Rhode Island. All right. And what's a VP?
Vice President?
Ah, that's right. And then we'll make a Hawaii red as well, and 71. Just the
Wouldn't
whole
it be amazing
country.
if Hawaii went red this year?
That's not going to happen. Yeah, and the vice president. This will be really interesting. So does the VP. They usually don't count it. Oh, I see. The VP is just literally the little tiebreaker in the middle. So Ohio goes red. Now, I got to tell you what's alarming is the forecast that Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin are going to go Democrat senators. That doesn't bode well for a presidential election either. I mean, it's not going to make a lot of sense that hyper-partisan voters are going to be like, I'll vote for Donald Trump, but the Democrat. Because people who hate Trump. Democrats are not going to vote for Trump.
I mean, I wonder if they're posturing the same way that Tester is, right? Like Tester's not endorsing Harris to try and seem more moderate. The Democrats have this unusual phenomenon where they have several independents who caucus with them, which makes me think that there is a wavelength of Democrat-aligned voters who think, oh, but the party isn't all that it should be. It isn't right. Like you get lots of people who ultimately run as Republicans who, identify with libertarian politics. But the fact that like the three independents I can think of that are in Congress right now all ultimately caucus with Democrats, Joe Manchin's kind of not. He's done a lot of work with Republicans recently. It makes me think that this party isn't as unified on every level of government as they are necessarily on the federal level, or at least when it comes to presidential elections.
You see this right here? Now, how does this make sense?
Oh my gosh, I love that area.
See, you see this blue?
That part that
Cumberland.
wants to secede into West Virginia?
And right above it, dark red, dark red, dark red, dark red, all around it. Yet for some reason, it's because of, I believe, Frederick, right?
I think so.
It turns the whole thing blue, and the people who live surrounded in, this is MAGA country over here, no question. You go there, this is the place where all the bars have pictures of Donald Trump riding a Velociraptor with a machine gun.
In Maryland, Western.
And it's blue. And yeah, in the western panhandle of Maryland.
That's all the Potomac River there. That's at the border on the south. That's why it's carved like that.
You go out there and hang out, and it's MAGA country. Yet it's being represented by a Democrat. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is interesting that I was deeply studying the C&O canal going from the Chesapeake Bay up the river, and they wanted to connect the Ohio River to the Chesapeake Bay, the Potomac, and that area is like mountainous and not the same at all anymore. As they only carved it that way because it made sense probably to control the riverways and the canals back in the day, but the canal's gone now. It got destroyed by a flood. They use cars. I mean, the trains, they still have trains, but like almost like Maryland could split in half and it would be fine. Like, maybe be ridiculous to have Western Maryland be its own state because it's not that populous.
Well, the counties in Western Maryland have asked if they could join West Virginia, and West Virginia's capital was like, we would love that. But now you have to talk to Annapolis is the capital of Maryland.
They should not have to at all.
It is.
We're a nation built upon a Declaration of Independence. Any county should be able to declare in their state, like, we held an election in this county. We have hereby democratically chosen to join another state. They're not changing the amount of representatives. They are not changing the structure of the federal government, and they should be allowed to do it so long as the state agrees to accept them. The other state, if we had that function, imagine what would happen. The people who lived in these counties in Maryland would say, we have hereby voted to secede. The state would then say, wait, what do you want to not do that? And they would actually have to offer up something to the people who lived there instead of saying, shut up, you can't do anything about it, or you'll go to, do we tell you or else. Imagine you actually could just say, no, we're going to secede and go join Idaho or something.
Thanks for watching this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to check out the live show Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. on this channel. Subscribe and we'll see you all there.